We have all been too afraid. And that has to be the case, otherwise the world would not look the way that it does now. What happens is when we don't own who we are, when we don't acknowledge our presence in the world, then we allow things that we are seeing, the disasters that we're seeing, to occur. And I know this, but I've been the person who's been afraid as well. But we have to move beyond that. And I know about fear because I wrote a book about it, and it's this book. You can get it at Amazon. And I did this several years ago because I said, I'm going to get over this. I'm moving beyond this. And what I did was I used the messages that I've received from my Wilhelm to work to talk about it, because that's how I got through it. That's how my program has been created as well. I just came out of a presentation Ryan Blair put on. He's a wonderful guy. He's a coach as well. But he talked about his life and what he's gone through. But he had Coach Dale Brown there. One of the winningest coaches in college history, and he's almost 87, and he's talking about exactly what I was saying, how we need to look at what is happening and decide to be who we were meant to be in this world. And that's what I'm doing. That's why I created my program. Now, I'll tell you two other things that happened today, which made this day so incredible for me. I happened to receive a message, my Wilhelm, which is on my site, Any Advice for Today, which brought so many things together. And I thought, this is making sense now. And it talked about exactly what was in my program, what you are meant to experience when you come out of it, which would be me, basically, where you're in a good mood, where you're not aging, where you're not getting sick, where you're not afraid, where you're moving through things, where you're creating stuff. That's what happens. Now, it's a process. It's been a process for me. I didn't do this overnight. I went through so many failures and to try to get here. And that's one thing that that Coach Brown said, that's the most important thing. That's the best measure of success. How many failures can you have? Well, I've been up there, so I've had tons of them. And so I know the difference. And I know where we are now, and we can change things if we believe we can. But we stop. I was not believing what was in my program, which is why I said, let me test it first. Let me see what happens. And then I get the results, but still doubting. Now, I have all of that stuff. It's on my site. You'll see it. It's all written there. But then today, the best thing that happened, I went and got one of the other recordings of a Wilhelm session that I had not published. I hadn't put it out. I hadn't even listened to it. And as I heard it today, I go, oh, wow. If more people had heard this, they would have felt better. They would have understood something. And then I went and posted it. I said, please listen, please listen. Nobody's listening. And I said, if you listen, you'll probably feel better. And I get it that it's difficult to understand how I might have received information, because that's what we all do. We have information that comes to us, but we ignore it or don't believe it. Every single person has something that they're meant to do and they're meant to bring to the world. What I'm doing for the rest of my life is helping those people actualize all of that, because I know that that will make a difference. I know that that will change the world. And we can think limited and in limited ways and think, oh, well, that's not going to matter. And then when we think that way, and when all of us think that way, then we have wars. Then we start killing people. Then we have people who are disenfranchised, who don't know who they are. I know that if more people had become empowered, we would not have these situations that we're having now. But this was also something that our world needed to go through, because it's been such a mess. But we're here, we can change it. And I'm going to do my part. So I'd love for you to join me. I'm going to, as I said, my program, you can still get it at the price that it is today through Friday. But I'm changing it after that. I need to make a bigger difference. This is the thing that Ryan said at the end of the group. He goes, what can you do to make a bigger difference in the world, to start to change it? Each of us. What can we do? And this is what I can do, because this is my gift. This is what I have. And I know that anyone that I work with in this program, if they are doing the work, if they're in there, they're going to come out of it a much more empowered person. They're going to be doing the things that they came to the world to do, because we each have something, but we might block it or not believe it. And I did that for so long. I didn't understand or didn't believe what my particular gift was. You may have done the same thing, but this is my intuitive side. Loves working with people who can't see where things are, because I can help you do that. But I just want to say this is when you watch the world, because we're going to still go through this. I want you to understand we're not done. We haven't fully changed. Think about you. How long it takes you to do something, how you're still afraid of doing the thing that you wanted to do in your life, how you don't want to speak up, how you don't want to own yourself. That's what I did. And I had to work through all of those, and I had to do it in a way where I could own who I was and put it into the world where it would cause things to be better. And every single person has that ability. All right, you guys. See you soon.